Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. So, how about that XRP flash crash last night? Did you even know it happened? Well, if you didn't look fast enough, you might not even realize it occurred. But in short order, I'll show you the chart. XRP cratered down to 31 cents. And then it just kind of rocketed on out of there. And that's part of the definition of a flash crash, by the way. It's a precipitous crash followed by a very, very quick rebound. That's what it is. So actually, the flash crash recovery would be redundant. But if you're speaking about flash crash recoveries, then it wouldn't be redundant. So anyway, I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking. Anyway, so I want to talk about this. Also, there's some other stories I want to share with you. There's a very popular cryptocurrency CEO and founder who thinks that it's actually quite possible that we're going to be back in bull territory inside of 6 months. Wouldn't mind if that's accurate. Also, I want to share with you a little follow. There's an analyst who was cited by crypto media outlet Daily Hodl, and this is an analyst that I'd say is more of like a top shelf analyst. And he would happen to be talking about something that I shared in one of my videos the other day. I was talking about this idea of supply of cryptocurrencies, and is it the case that XRP's price it's being cratered right now because there's just too much quantity of XRP? Is it because of anything Ripple's doing? And people have these concerns for a ton of different cryptocurrencies. It's not just XRP that has to deal with these questions, and the questions are fair. But I want to share with you additional perspective from an analyst who just happens to be talking about the same damn thing here. And then, unrelated, I have an update for you from the Daily Hodl about Sam Bankman-Fried. Look at this headline. Sam Bankman-Fried will plead not guilty to fraud charges, faces 115 years if convicted. Oh, yes. I would not mind that. I really would not mind. I don't know what he's going to get, but would not mind if it were a very, very lengthy sentence. But before going further ado, and be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so here's a 7-day chart for XRP. I would have made it a 1-day chart, but it's actually technically like what? I don't know, 27 hours or so since we actually had this flash crash. But for those of you looking at the screen, if you look where I'm circling, you can see the price of XRP just cratered out of nowhere. And sometimes these things happen. They've happened with Bitcoin. They've happened with all sorts of different cryptocurrencies. But let's see what the timeline was. So like from what? Call about 6:40 p.m. That'd be Central Standard Time because that's my time zone. And then oh yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, you're talking about into the AM. My gosh, you're looking at, you can just use round numbers and say by 8 hours, it was above where it was before the flash crash. And by the way, it moved up. I mean, you're talking about when it started moving back up, that was inside of an hour. So it was very short-lived, and then XRP got as high as 35.5 cents. And then the blockchain backer shared this chart, XRP chart, and said, I do believe that was the bottom of XRP. I'll discuss it in today's video. So if you want to see his full analysis, check out his video. But he thinks that was pretty much it, and we're going to be good moving forward. And of course, we're all curious about the bottom on a macro scale for the entirety of the crypto market cycle that we're in right now. After leaving the dumpster fire that was 2022, oh my God, arguably in many, many, many ways, the worst year in the history of crypto. So that's behind us. When are we going to get back to bull territory? And it is an inevitability so far as I see. I firmly believe that to be the case. Well, here's a headline from the Daily Hodl. Crypto veteran Eric Voorhees makes prediction for next bull market, highlights major lesson from 2022. I'm a fan of Eric Voorhees. I always appreciate his analysis, and he seems to be a straightforward guy who is the opposite of toxic. He does not like tribalism, and it's just, that's refreshing in crypto, especially for somebody in a position like this who's very well known in crypto, to push back against tribalism. He actually actively pushes back against it. I like seeing that. And so he doesn't just from ideological positions attack cryptocurrencies. He engages in critical thinking, and there we are. So I don't know what he thinks about XRP. Maybe he doesn't like it. I'm just saying, whatever he thinks about it or any other crypto, he seems to just be saying what he actually believes, rather than coming at it from a place of, I want this narrative to be true for reason ABC, so on and so forth. Anyway, piece reads as follows. Crypto veteran Eric Voorhees is predicting when Bitcoin will go on its next bull run while reflecting on 2022. in a new interview with the Bankless podcast, Voorhees says that it will not take another decade for a crypto bull market. And that's why I was paused to say, amen, brother. And I don't think it's going to either. But, after all the FTX stuff, there was no shortage of people saying it's going to take another 5 years, 10 years for the markets to recover. I'm like, you guys are just pulling these numbers out your rear sides. There's nothing behind this. You're feeling the feels like, oh my God, this is devastating. People must be thinking whatever the terrible thing you think they're thinking. And as a result, for those reasons, see you next decade. I was like, well, I don't think so, because there's been some truly disastrous stuff in the past. There's been BitConnect, there's been Mt. Gox, name your tragedy for the last decade plus in the world of crypto. And, in some ways, it's like we humans have the memory of a goldfish, which I think is like 8 seconds. I don't know if that's a myth or not. I think that's true, though. But, and if you're curious, just Google it. I'll do that after I finish recording. But people do forget pretty quickly. Bad stuff happens, and then eventually all the people that were scared enough to get out, they get out, bottoms are formed, and then it goes back up, and they're like, oh. Some people come back in, they're like, oh, well, I guess it really wasn't the end of the world, and then they come back in. As emotional buyers and sellers do. It just is what it is. But anyway, peace continues. The Shapeshift CEO says that Bitcoin could soar by nearly 140% from its current value as soon as this summer. At time of writing, Bitcoin is changing hands at $16,703. Quote, it won't be 10 years. If it takes 10 years for the bull market to happen, probably the whole thing failed. So I'm happy bounding it in that way. I would guess it's sometime in the next 6 months to 3 years. I think that's generally how long it takes people's minds to start changing and speculative cycles to return, end quote. Yeah, this is exactly correct, though. Let time pass, and then people forget. And then again, when markets do start to rebound, because eventually all the scaredy cats get out who, again, made emotional buying decisions. And then there are those who learn about it for the first time. They're like, oh, this looks interesting. Like, I had my moment in the sun in that way. In 2017, when I jumped in, I was brand new at a point in time. And then there are also people that realize that they were wrong, and then they come back. This stuff happens. There's always going to be new people coming in, finally doing their own research and recognizing, wow, this is not going away, as I have done, and probably most of you at this point. So, Peace reads as follows, and Voorhees says that macroeconomic conditions need to improve, and the Federal Reserve likely has to pivot to a less hawkish stance for a price surge to happen, which he says could start in the coming months. Quote, it also has a lot to do with the macro environment. As long as interest rates are held high and monetary conditions are tighter, it's going to be a headwind. That'll start changing in the early to mid 2023. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin was at like $40,000 by the summer. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And that's like 2.5x from here. So it's a great return, end quote. Yeah, everybody's too scared to buy right now, just like people are too scared to buy when Bitcoin hit its 2018 low at about $3,200. And people, then after that, Bitcoin gets to 20,000. People are like, man, I wish I had that opportunity to buy that Bitcoin at $3,200. Well, you live through it. I'm just saying, if you're in the world of crypto, you had that opportunity. I know a lot of people weren't aware of crypto, but still, the opportunity's still here. There's almost no money in crypto today. You can, think about this. What's the current market? 816 billion according to Live Corner. 816 billion for the crypto market cap. Equities, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's normally like somewhere in the range of, I'll have to double check this too after looking up goldfish after I'm finished recording this room temperature jam. I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, that equities are normally somewhere between 80 to 100 trillion. Isn't that right? 80 to 100 trillion? And so you're talking about a market cap here for crypto of 816 billion with just a B, not a T. There's no money in it. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying, right? So then take a look at this. Speaking of opportunity, let me mention this too before I jump in this next piece. And it has to do with this topic of what I was talking about, like I said, just the other day, of is there too much supply? And my stance is no. Because frankly, if there were twice as much XRP in existence, I don't care as long as adoption unfolds the way that I'm anticipating it to. Imagine there's twice as much XRP that could ever exist. Say, instead of the max ever supply being 100 billion, let's say we're 200 billion. And let's say that flooded the market even. Oh my God, damn, that sounds terrible. Okay, are you sure about that? What, like forever? What if 100 times as many people are interested in purchasing XRP in the future as they are today? So you're talking about a twofold increase in supply versus a 100-fold increase in people wanting to buy XRP. What do you think that means for a price? And so that's why when I look on on a big picture timeline, where I think crypto's going in terms of dollar valuation, why wouldn't the asset class be in the tens of trillions? And as long as XRP is truly continues to be useful and continues to get adopted, it should have a substantial piece of that pie. That's my suspicion anyway. We'll see what happens. And if that's the case, what the hell do I care what's happening right now? I'm waiting for the rest of the world to catch up with me and figure it out, and catch up with you guys listening too. You're on the cutting edge right now. Almost nobody knows about this stuff. It's amazing. It's still in 2022. XRP's been around a decade. Almost no humans know what the hell it is. Go ask random people in public. I mean, yeah, you'll find some, but it's like substantially less than 1% of humans that have ever bought XRP at any point in time. Like, that's amazing. The opportunity that represents here. And I'll also say, as a result of the markets being as they are today, substantially depressed, like, my God, like what I've been doing this year, and every time I've purchased crypto, I've just mentioned it because I think it's fun to talk about, and I've shared what I've bought. I don't share the quantity ever, but I share what I bought. And if it's big purchase, then I mention, hey, this is an abnormally large purchase for me. I'm happy to share that type of information anyway. And I didn't know that I'd have this, I didn't know what was going to unfold in 2022. I didn't know I'd have those opportunities. But I'm, not that I wanted bad stuff to happen to people, but those things happened. And I'm still thankful that, even though my net worth went down, because that was bad for me too, I still had opportunity. It wasn't all bad for me. I had opportunity. I'm thankful for the opportunity, even though it was associated with bad stuff for me also, including my net worth going down substantially. I had an opportunity to buy stuff cheaper. And so I was thinking back when I was brand new to crypto, like even in early 2018, and as it was very clear in the first half of 2018, we were in bear territory. It was very clear. XRP and everything else cratering down. And we got to the point where XRP got down to 55 cents. I've told this story before, and I started dollar cost averaging, and then it went lower, and then I bought more, lower, more. And I got to this point where I'd have these moments where I just look at how much XRP I had, because I had all this time to accumulate, which I didn't know that I'd have. And I'd look at my total quantity of XRP held, not worried about what it costed in terms of dollars at the moment. And there were moments where I'd just sit there and stare at my balance. And I'd just be like, and it's in stunned amazement, be like, wow, I never thought I'd have the opportunity to hold that much XRP. And to some people it would be a lot, and to some people it wouldn't be that much. I like to be vague about it. Subjectively to me, it's a ton. But to other people, there are other people that have way more, and good for them. And it wouldn't be that much. But to me, I just remember sitting there even years ago. And so the reason I shared that is because these are bad, scary times, allegedly. I'm like, well, depends on how you look at it. Because I in 2022, I had an opportunity to buy HBAR and Algo and Filecoin, to name a few. And I didn't know that I'd get to hold as much of those assets as I do now. And if things get worse, as they very well may, I will take advantage of that again, because the asset class isn't going to zero. Just like the stock market isn't going to zero. And the those two asset classes, crypto and stocks, they move in tandem. And as far as the supply thing, well, HBAR is one of the coins I was talking about the other day, which is one of my larger holdings. And there's this article from the Daily Huddle talking about this. Check this out. A closely followed crypto trader is flipping bullish on one of Ethereum's competitors as markets enter a new year. This anonymous trader known as Credible tells his 335,000 Twitter followers that he's looking to dollar cost average into HBAR, which is currently over 93% down from all-time highs. Quote, "We've retraced back to the origin of the last move from which we ran 12x after a near 12-month consolidation. If you're bullish on HBAR, it's a great time to be dollar cost averaging, in my opinion," end quote. Yeah, and so I'll note that I am down on HBAR a good bit at this point. I was able to buy it as cheap as 4.4 cents, and it even went down recently as low as 3.7 cents. And I mean, I'm waiting to see if there's, I'm actually, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to buy more because it did get in that 3 cent range. I really honestly am. But I had been waiting, as I publicly stated, to see when the next leg drops regarding, I'm going to make a separate video about this next, by the way, but regarding when the crypto contagion may spread. I don't know how it doesn't. I'll talk about that in my very next video. That's a separate topic. But But still, my gosh, the opportunity is astounding here. And so, like, I look at how much HBAR I hold now, and I'm just like, I genuinely never thought I'd hold as much HBAR as I actually do. I've stared at that balance, and I'm just like, wow. I really did not fathom that I'd ever hold as much as I actually do. And so even the bad times like this, they create tremendous opportunity, and I focus on that, and I am not scared of what's happening here. I believe very much what I'm saying here, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, fine. Maybe everything goes to zero. But I firmly believe what I mean, and I'm observing how humans behave when it comes to investing in markets, and I think they're awful. Humans are the worst. But the people, the typical retail living speculators, they're the ones that cause volatility. They make it possible for people like me who behave not like them to achieve major returns. So I'm just going to keep doing nothing. It's a very unsophisticated approach. I love it. It's stress-free. I don't worry about anything. I just buy, and then prices go down. If I'm enticed, I'll buy more. And if not, then okay. It's just interesting. Anyway, piece continues. HBAR is the native token of the Hedera hashgraph system, which aims to be a faster, more efficient, and more secure version of a standard blockchain technology. And by the way, it is not blockchain technology. Piece continues. It uses what's known as its gossip protocol and incorporates a directed acrylic graph as the backbone of its system. HBAR currently has a market cap of just under $1 billion and a max supply of 50 billion tokens, with 25 billion currently in circulation. While Hedera has a large max supply compared to circulating supply, Credible says it won't be an issue once a bull market comes around. And so, folks, I'm about to share a quote from him, but you tell me if the concern that is being cited here, that's being discussed, does that sound familiar to you? I think it applies to any other cryptos you might be a fan of, maybe XRP perhaps. So here's the quote. It's not really an issue in my opinion. People just want to rationalize the bearish price action, and because they can't argue against its fundamentals, bad tokenomics is an easy alternative to shift the blame to. When we begin pumping again, that argument won't stand either. End quote. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And so, when new masses of people come in, what do you think is going to happen to these scarce tokens? It's like people, they have this tendency to just focus on the supply side. What about the demand side? Because I'll tell you what, if the demand side never comes back, your supply side complaints don't matter. They really don't. Like I'm telling you, the demand piece, I'm not saying don't pay attention to supply, but what I am saying is that the fundamentally what's most important if you're just looking at supply versus demand, when it comes to this market in crypto in 2023, what matters most, if you have to pick one over the other, it's the demand. The reason prices are low is because there's not demand. And again, of course, supply is a function of it too. I'm not pretending it's not, but again, if you have a similar vision, which is that crypto just takes over the world in so many ways, and you have most humans at some point in the future utilizing crypto, actually using it and helping people. So it goes from 3 to 4% of humans today having never held crypto to most humans on the planet using it. Well, if that happens, who cares about the damn supply when every damn human on the planet's using something from this asset class? It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. That's the bigger point. All right, now into the last piece from the Daily Huddle. Sam Bankman-Fried will plead not guilty to fraud charges, faces 115 years if convicted. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried will reportedly plead not guilty to fraud charges relating to the collapse of the crypto exchange late last year. According to a report from Reuters, Bankman-Fried will enter a not guilty plea to criminal charges that he defrauded investors and misappropriated billions of dollars from the exchange. The former crypto billionaire is facing allegations of illegally using FTX customer deposits to fund his trading firm Alameda Research, donate to politicians, and pay for highly illiquid investments. So we'll just wait to see, folks, what he actually does tomorrow. But yes, that's what's going to happen. I would be shocked if anything else here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.